Bolivia, South America. In November 1981, 3 backpackers traveled to the remote outpost of Asriamis in the Amazonian jungle. Yossi Ginsberg is a 22-year-old from Israel, fresh out of national service with the Israeli Navy.
The reason why I came to South America was one reason. It was very clear to me. I wanted an adventure. I was very, very naive, bright-eyed, open to the world. Everything is possible.
With Yossi is Kevin Gale, an experienced traveler. He's a 29-year-old photographer from Oregon.
I was traveling, I had an agent in New York, and I was sending my shots to him. So I had motivation to try to have some shots published. And of course I was thinking maybe I'll publish some in National Geographic, but it was primarily for myself that I was doing this.
With Kevin and Yossi is Markus Stamm, a 29-year-old school teacher from Switzerland.
Marcos and I had been great friends. We'd been traveling off and on together for 8 months. He was going through a crisis. A relationship had just broken up and he was falling apart. And he just wanted to escape.
The 3 friends have spent months backpacking around South America. But now, a charismatic Austrian, Karl Ruprechter, has drawn them to Asriamis with the promise of a real adventure. He will take them into the uncharted rainforest to meet a lost tribe of Indians, never before seen by Western eyes.
Whoa, lousy map. No detail, the whole of Bolivia on one map. Look, I marked the field. See that? That's where we are now. We cross the Tuichi River. We cut the trail for 4 days, and we end up at the village. And then you see the real Indians.
There was an X with a pen. Carl said, the Indians are there. We had no reason not to believe him.
He told us that he was a geologist, that he had been in South America for 15 years, that he'd been in the jungle numerous times. He was an expert in the jungle. So I had no reason to doubt his word.
Listen, it's gonna be tough, but we'll go in together and we'll come out together. Agreed?
Yeah. Okay.
Good. Let's do it.
Guys.
As we set off from Asariamas, we started seeing, like things were changing, and we weren't exactly the same people already. And I think the reason for it was that we knew we're leaving civilization behind, and this is it, just the 4 of us.
The friends follow their guide into the rainforest. Ahead of them lies a week-long hike to the Indian village. From there, Carl has told them they will return to civilization by rafting down the Tuichi River.
You know, Carl is not so tough.
What would you know about it, Yossi? You were never in nature like this before?
Well, I was in the military.
Yeah, that was the Navy. This is the jungle. Where's this damn village?
Oh, this is bad, my friend. You gotta be careful with this. You see the saws? They will all open up to get in the end, then you've got no skin left. And your feet are kaput.
Guys, I'm sorry.
He said it's tremendous pain. We didn't believe him, because it was part of it. Okay, now he's complaining, he's always finding a reason to complain.
Marcus should rest. One of you could go now with me to make contact with the village and then come back for Marcus. The village.
You said 3 or 4 days max to get there. It's been more than a week now. Marcus could be here for days.
Hey, you don't believe me? You think I don't know where it is, huh?
Nobody's leaving anybody behind.
So, what do we do, huh?
It wasn't fair to Marcos to continue. I wanted to continue. If Marcos hadn't been there, I would have continued. There's no question about that.
We should go back down to the river. We should build the raft now. Marcus can take it easy on the raft.
What do you know about the river?
I know the river is back that way.
Screw it. It's your choice.
Forced to abandon their dream of visiting the Indian village, the adventurers head back to the Tuichi River. Now they will raft out of the jungle.
My dream had been shattered, and I was very upset. And I knew I wouldn't have another chance. So I was in a pretty foul mood.
I was very upset because my dream, to make contact with the Indians, that dream was gone. And, it was mainly because of Marcus. Immediately, we knew it's a mistake.
Left! Left! Go left!
What left?
Easy Carl line. Good line. We're on the Carl line. We're right on course.
Go deep!
In the rainforest, Carl was the authority, and rightly so. But not anymore, because on the river, Kevin saw immediately that Carl is no authority. It was ridiculous, because Carl didn't know how to swim.
It was very obvious to me that Carl didn't know what he was doing in the raft. And I let him know. I told him that he was doing everything backwards.
Listen to me, we do okay.
Carl, nobody's gonna drown. I think we are okay. Maybe it's my imagination.
So now there was like fighting on the raft. They were fighting because Carl said, we have to pull to the left. And Kevin said, nonsense, you have to go to the other side.
Come on, pull you! Whoa.
Carl would scream and curse.
Don't listen to me, look what happens, huh? What'd I tell you?
Crazy on a river like that, like no cooperation, no friendship. It was hell.
We're pretty close to the canyon. Huh? I told you. You gotta forget the raft now. Look, we are here. Almost the Cape Down River. It's the El Paso San Pedro Falls.
It should take little more than a week for Carl and Marcus to hike out to the nearest village. But now Yossi and Kevin face the dangers of the river alone.
Kevin and I went into full excitement into let's the adventure begin. A new chapter, no more 4 people. Kevin became the authority and I accepted his authority. I guess part of it was an issue of age, but other part was that I didn't know rivers.
All right, get it dead straight. Go. Keep in time with my rhythm.
Almost immediately, we entered a series of roller coaster waves.
Hard your side.
It was a different river.
Paddle hard.
It's becoming much more intense. Like the river is getting narrow, the water swifter.
And certainly, it was a bad decision to continue. That was a major mistake.
We're just shooting straight into white water. Both of us were lying on the raft. That was the only thing we could do. Suddenly, it was clear to me that nothing that can prevent us from colliding with this huge rock that was approaching.
And that's what happened. We hit the rock.
All right, Yossi. I want you to listen to me now, okay? We can't stay here. All right? So I'm gonna jump, okay? I'm gonna swim to the shore, and I'm gonna throw you a line.
I don't want him to jump. He tells me why he's jumping, and his plan is completely suicidal. But in that stage, I think not only that it's suicidal, he kills me.
Kevin, no! Kevin! Kevin! Kevin, don't leave me! All right, Yossi, throw me the shoes and the machete!
I saw the raft teetering back and forth on the rock.
And then at the same time, the raft moves, and I hear that terrible screech. The mass of water just...
Yossi! Yossi, hold on!
He entered the rapids, and I saw him go through 2 or 3 rapids, a couple drops, and around the bend he went, and I didn't see him again.
It's like huge pressure on my chest. And I can feel that, like the power of the river. I'm shooting at such a high speed and deep under the waters. It's like the pressure surmounts. I cannot breathe. I feel this is it. I'm exploding. I'm dying. And I knew this is my end.
The next morning, Kevin starts to search for Yossi.
I decided to go downriver and look for Yossi.
Yossi!
I was responsible for him being there, and I didn't know if he was alive, if he drowned, or if he was hurt.
As Kevin works his way downriver, Yossi struggles back up the canyon towards him.
Kevin, I'm walking up the right bank!
Early morning of the day after this tragedy, this disaster, I hear this scratch, this metallic scratch. Behind the rock, there's a small pool. In the middle there, the backpack is waiting.
Yes!
When Kevin made this bag, he said, "Give me everything important to you, because this is the life bag." He tied 2 empty things to have it float.
The life bag contains vital supplies: a flashlight, a waterproof poncho, a few ounces of rice, and, crucially, the map that promises Yossi's best chance of survival.
I put the backpack on my back, and now with a new spirit, I climbed up thinking that it's gonna be easy now. Kevin and I get together, and it's gonna be over. We've got the equipment. It's gonna be a good story. That night, the fear was so big that every minute, every little thing I'll hear, I'll just jump and I'll start looking around to make sure there's no animal coming. I just clearly heard some branch breaking. Something is moving. I knew I'm not imagining that something is moving near me. I look with the flashlight around, but the moment I put the beam on, I see the face of a jaguar. I had a cigarette lighter and I had a can of repellent. And I remember that I saw that in a movie that you can actually set the repellent on fire. The flame died, And there was no jaguar, you know, like I managed to scare him. I sat there for the rest of the night, and you know, I started crying and screaming and trembling. It was consuming, that fear.
After hours on the river, Kevin's condition is critical. He's barely conscious and has no idea if he has passed San Jose or not.
All of a sudden, I see a canoe. The current is swift, so it's taking me downriver quite a ways. And then finally, they turned their heads and they began waving their arms. Like this, like downriver, downriver. So I let go of the branch I'd been holding on to, and I began swimming towards the shore.
Go playa.
Kevin!
I was so hurt. The disease on my feet, this fungus, reached my hands as well, and my hands were raw as well. And I felt that not only the pain that was so excruciating, but I actually remembered how Marcus had that. And I remember that I actually didn't believe him, and I thought that he's a wimp. And for a second I was thinking that maybe what has happened to me was directly related to the way I behaved to him, to my friend. And now I know, because I suffer myself.
Yossi has no choice but to press on and hope he can make it to San Jose.
The rain was merciless. It was so tough. The night came and it was very hard to escape. What happened is quite unbelievable. I didn't know of that phenomena, but literally the jungle started collapsing. It took me seconds to understand, but by the time I understood, it was too late. It was a flood, and the river rose.
No, no, no! No!
Something bit me. It was a strong bite, and I can feel it's like a termite, an ant, and then another bite, and then another bite, and then I attracted a nest of termites. And they were like hundreds of them, and then thousands of them, and I couldn't escape. There was no way I could escape. But the worst horror was the ray of light hitting a red carpet, like everything around me. 5-6 meters around me, everywhere. It was all red and moving. My body was like a colander. There was no place in my body that wasn't bleeding. And I just had to escape now. And I stood on my feet and I kept on walking.
I told him that I want to go as high as possible, up the river as much as possible. Just kept going up and up and up. I didn't want to stop.
The jungle is just the jungle.
On my knees, on my elbows, I'm crawling. Suddenly I started seeing a few things that I recognized, and it was actually Kuri Playa. I went all the way back to that deserted mining camp. But the mining camp wasn't there anymore. The flood took everything. My feet weren't feet anymore. They were like two lumps, two chunks of blood and pus. I gave up. I prayed to God, just allow me to die. All I want is to rest. Let me die.
Yossi and Kevin were safe, but they had yet to find out what had happened to Marcus and Carl, who they'd left to walk out of the jungle 20 days before.
It was a shock to us to discover that there was no trace of Marcus or Carl.
Of course, when I realized that Marcus was lost in the jungle, it was a very heavy feeling.
Kevin went back into the rainforest immediately to search for them, and he couldn't find anything, any sign, any track. It just evaporated.
The Bolivian army also mounted a search and discovered that the Indian village that Carl had marked on the map did not exist.
They told me that Carl had a history of taking people into the jungle and leaving them. It happened more than once.
They were very, very familiar with Carl, and they said he's a troublemaker, and he found refuge here in Bolivia. And I was shocked.
Over the following years, both Kevin and Yossi mounted searches for Marcus, but no sign of him was ever found.
I don't feel guilt about not taking Marcus with us. Then and even now, I feel that it was the right decision not to allow him to come. But I always thought then, and I probably do occasionally now, that if I would have gone back with Carl and Marcos, if we would have gone back together, that it would have ended differently.
It was a life and death issue, and we decided for him that he should go out. Yeah, we did think, both Kevin and I, we were thinking that what we are doing is more dangerous. If this is an excuse, we were thinking that. Still, we made that decision for him, and he never came back.
Hinchinbrook Island, at the northern tip of the Great Barrier Reef, 40,000 hectares of dense tropical rainforest, surrounding formidable rocky peaks. A protected wilderness, there are no roads and no inhabitants. It's exactly the sort of place that Warren MacDonald lives to explore. A seasoned hiker who spent time as an environmental activist protecting endangered habitats, he's trekked some of the world's most extreme landscapes.
I've been hearing a lot over the years about Hinchinbrook Island and figured being so close, I should go and check it out. But it had always been on my map.
Hinchinbrook is renowned in the hiking community as one of Australia's best-kept secrets. Accessible only by a single ferry that makes the crossing once a day.
When I go hiking, I don't go hiking usually to be with the crowd, so I took off on my own. It was a big sense of freedom, I suppose. I think the isolation is always a huge part of it for me. I'm always out to try and get to those places where not everybody goes to.
There are rarely more than a handful of hikers on Hinchinbrook, scattered along the island's only established trail. Geert van Heulen is a photographer and painter. He's travelled from his native Holland to walk the trails and paint the landscape of Hinchinbrook.
I really like the physical exercise because I start not very well trained and basically walk myself fit. Hiking to me is one of the things I really basically live for, and also being able to sketch and paint and draw is very important to me. The opportunity that I got for that on Hinchinbrook was just awesome, fantastic.
Eventually got towards the end of the day and got to Little Zoe Bay, and first thing I noticed is there's a guy sitting down on the beach wearing a bandana basically, sketching the scene out on the ocean, and I remember thinking, wow, that guy looks pretty chilled out.
Hey, how you going?
Hey. I'm Geert van Keulen from Holland.
Or McDonald's?
Yeah, good to meet you.
Good to see you.
Straight away there was a connection. But at the same time I was having a great time, and I like that sort of element in hiking very much. Why should it be easy? I might as well stay home.
We'd probably been going for 5 hours or so when I started thinking, wow, we don't look like we're anywhere near where we need to be.
What do you reckon? I reckon we're in the wrong creek bed. I reckon you're right.
I didn't feel like we were lost. I don't even know if I'd use the term geographically embarrassed. To me, it wasn't a huge deal.
We're gonna lose the light, soon. It's gonna get dark. We can't exactly camp here. Come on, Git. Come on, Git.
We kept on going up and up, going from one boulder to the other, and as it goes in the tropics, the dark sets in really quickly, and before you know it, you need a torch just to find your bearings. We realized we couldn't go any further. I was just glad to have stopped, and I think Warren was as well. And that's why we made our camp, and we had tea.
So I need to take a leak, and the last thing that I want to do is do it in the creek. You remember, we're out there hiking. This is our drinking water. So the rule is you want to get at least 50 metres away from the creek. So I decided that I'd climb up this embankment and made my way across the creek, feeling my way with my feet, and got to the wall on the other side. And got my foot up onto the rock. And at that point I heard a huge crack. clue what had happened. Not a clue.
One, you all right? One? 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 Jesus, what happened?
I shone and I saw a complete surrealistic scene. It was a human being and this huge rock was on top of him.
At this point, it's totally all about the pain grinding down into my legs, and I need to make it stop.
In a freak accident, Warren MacDonald is pinned under a chunk of granite weighing more than a ton. He has no idea how badly he's injured, only that he's trapped.
So we just keep pushing at this thing for a couple of minutes.
It's incredible the negative energy that the rock actually gave. It was almost as though the rock was pushing me back. Nothing happened, and it's like trying to push a tank out of the way.
I'm in a world of pain, but there's not a hell of a lot I can do about it. At some point, something kicks in, and I would almost describe it as some kind of primeval survival tactic. And at this point, I start directing Geert.
Oh, my God, Geert, calm. Just stay calm. All we need to do, we need to build a lever. We've got to find a branch. There's something we need to get a big branch. A little branch. I will be as quick as I can. Go quickly, Geert.
So it started raining. I'm thinking, this is an idea. We don't really need this. The last thing we need right now is rain. I can hear him downstream wrestling with trees and branches of trees, trying to break off something decent that we can use as a lever, and I can almost picture in my mind what he's doing. And obviously, I want him to come back as quick as he can. You know, I'm almost trying to will him to hurry up.
You'll be okay, man. I think I got it. I'm coming, boy. I'm coming, man.
So Geert's beside me pushing. I'm pushing so hard now that I feel like I'm going to tear myself in half. And then all of a sudden it moves, maybe an inch. Do you know, all it really did is we helped it settle further onto me.
Get it, mate. We need a bigger branch. We need a tree. Yeah. Go get a tree. Okay. Get a good one. You're gonna be all right, mate. You're a tough bugger. Go get a tree.
When he leaves, I start thinking,
I had this incredible image which will never leave me. I looked in the rain and I saw his silhouette. I saw the silhouette. And the silhouette got exaggerated by the hood of the Gore-Tex jacket that he was wearing. And I could see that his head was to one side. I think that I heard him moan, and I think that I heard him cry. That's the only time that I think that I heard any complaint.
We're both totally exhausted, and it kind of snuck up on me that the rain had backed off.
Finally, a bit of luck. We got lots of luck. It's just all bad. Maybe it's gonna be okay. What do you think? I think I'd rather be in my sleeping bag. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry about anything, mate. You did good. You did really good.
I sat next to him, and I put my arm around his shoulder, and just comforted him. And he didn't say much. He just sat there.
All along, I think both of us held out this hope that we were going to be able to do something, that something was going to work. Up until that point, nobody wants to even contemplate the idea of him hiking out and leaving me alone.
You've got a long journey in front of you, mate. You're gonna have to go fast. Sort out a rescue. Yeah.
It's impossible to hike out. At that stage, I would have killed myself straight away, I think. So I had to wait until the morning.
It's been more than 10 hours since the boulder fell on Warren. The torrential rain has flooded every creek. Geert's only choice, if he's to get help, is to find a route through the treacherous rainforest they put so much effort into avoiding on the way up.
I had spent my whole life being self-sufficient. All of a sudden, I'm in a position where I'm totally reliant on this guy that I've met the day before.
As I was looking around, I got a little bit scared because it looked really mean and spooky, and it was a very macabre setting. He looked pretty bad at this stage. He looked incredibly white, pale.
Give you something to do. I borrowed your socks. Mine got washed away in the night. You go easy, mate. It's gonna be another night, you know, before I make it back to the ferry. I can do that. Another night I can do.
Don't relax. Keep sharp. Keep focused. Sometimes I'd hurried it a bit too much. And went down way too quick. And I'm really angry with myself. I'm thinking, stupid bastard, you know, calm down, take it easy. Warren is not serviced by someone who goes down like an idiot and kills himself. Just get down in one piece. That's important.
I found myself riding a roller coaster, is the best way to describe it, where at times I had to psych myself to such a point, it's just like, I'm getting through this. You know, I can do it. I'm coming out the other side. To taking this nosedive down into the depths of despair, in that's it. This is it. They're going to find you dead out here in a couple of days. And I found that I rode that.
I hit a nest of tree ants. Green as a lime.
Oh God, no, 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 no! No! Get off!
And all the ants came out and were all over me within a few seconds. I was covered in ants. And I saw a pool. And I just jumped in it with pack and all.
Green ants are just one of the hundreds of biting insects and stinging plants found in the Australian rainforest. It is in fact home to 6 of the world's most deadly animals, including spiders, crocodiles, scorpions, and venomous snakes.
Some of the best times in my life had been spent in the wilderness, and I'd spent time as an environmentalist protecting wild places, and the irony was that that same kind of place was now going to be the end of me. I'd been hallucinating. I felt nauseous, couldn't keep anything down, was probably hypothermic. And starting to feel sick like that was really a sign to me that I probably wouldn't last that much longer.
Help! Yeah! Anybody?
I didn't feel any anger towards that. I think I felt a sense of despair, if you like, that there wasn't anything else I could do, that it was all over. I didn't really know what that meant, but I didn't like it. I don't know about reincarnation and life after death and all the rest of it. Nobody has yet to convince me that, that this isn't it. So it must be mid-morning that I notice in the pool of water around my right foot that there's this red cloud. And I'm thinking, what the hell's all that about? You know, it's a little late to start bleeding now. And I'm wondering what to make of it when I notice something moving in the water. And realised with horror, it's a yabby, a freshwater crayfish. As if things hadn't been bizarre enough up to this point, this guy's nipping away at my foot. And I feel like now like I'm living in some kind of horror movie. Well, I grabbed a branch from behind me and just started spearing it, trying to take this guy out.
Go on. Get him.
What made it even worse was that I couldn't feel anything, and that he could have been there for hours. He could have been there all day.
It's been 35 hours since the boulder fell on Warren. Many miles away, Geert has reached the base of Mount Bowen, but he's been forced off course. He's only a few hours left to traverse almost 10 miles of rainforest if he's to make the single daily ferry and get help.
Everything was sore, I was bleeding, wounds all over the place. That was just hell. I felt more tired by the second, by the minute. I started vomiting. I sat on my knees and vomited. Straight away dawned on me to keep going and not to sit down and start thinking. There was still no time for that. The next task was to make it to where the ferry departs from.
That I would lose that foot, and I thought, don't even go there. You got enough on your plate to deal with right now.
An hour passed. I looked to Mount Bowen and actually changed my position and went sit sideways so I could see it all the time. I just did not want to take my eyes off it anymore. The doctor was very calm, looked at me and he said, he gave me a very friendly nod. Hi, we go up now, and where do you think that we can find him?
I asked Gert what position and what condition Warren had been in when he left. We had to make a guess that what we would take would be extrication equipment, that is something adequate to lift the boulder off, and perhaps material to do an amputation if we couldn't get the boulder up. We weren't sure where we were going, what we would find.
Yeah, it was okay. Yeah? Yeah, no, actually it wasn't that good. I mean, really, it was not this morning. I mean, yesterday morning.
Right about now, I've all but given up. You know, I'm convinced that something's happened to Geert, and I'm basically just waiting to die.
Yeah, left there. To the left, go to the left. Copy that.
But the instant that I hear that helicopter, I snapped to attention.
That's where we went back. This is close. Yeah.
Something major has just changed in that I'm no longer alone.
There! 10 o'clock, 300 meters! I don't see him, I don't see him!
Helicopter's still one of my favourite sounds.
I see Tell him he's okay. We're gonna take you back to the beach. We're gonna drop you there, and we're gonna come get him. Okay? Okay. Right.
And I felt really happy and warm. All my tiredness was gone for a few minutes.
There is some kind of hope for me now. But I just felt so tired and so drained. I knew that I was nowhere near out of the danger zone yet.
How long you been here? I don't know. I don't know. Now, are you allergic to any drugs? Like anything you can give me. And we got some equipment to take the boulder off, but it's going to be a slow process. You just hang in there, okay? Now you hold this. Keep it under your arm, okay? Right, that's it. Keep the pressure on, otherwise you'll be losing fluid.
I would say for the normal mortal man, I would have expected him to die, honestly. If not fairly immediately, perhaps when we were to remove the boulder, there's a chance that toxins from the necrotic tissue, his legs, would enter his circulation and just push him over the edge as far as acidosis and electrolyte imbalance is concerned.
Quite the operation. It took about 2.5 hours for him to lift the rock off me.
He could have died at any moment, I believe.
1, 2, 3. Get that off me! Get that off me!
Stay with me, now breathe.
Physically, he survived the rescue attempt, but, you know, from a physiologic point of view, the guy's still in profound shock. So his condition, quite obviously, was critical.